Yo, what is good, YouTube? What's going on? I hope everybody at home had a Merry Christmas. It feels so nice to pick up a camera again. We haven't touched a camera in at least 3 weeks. Just because it's the holiday season, you know, I haven't gotten a lot of stuff for the Duramax lately. Also a couple other things going on, but it doesn't really matter. But today we found something a little cool, I guess you could say it, on Facebook Marketplace, and we went and picked it up. So that is going to be probably the coolest interior mod you could probably do, and that's going to be the Escalade steering wheel. Now I know it says Chevy, but we call these the Escalade steering wheels because that's kind of the majority of where they came from. I actually don't even know what Chevy truck this could have came out of, or if this airbag is just swapped over. Who really knows? But long story short, it is in amazing condition, and not only did I get it for the wood grain and the rarity of this thing, it is absolutely roached. Obviously you guys can't feel over video, but the entire steering wheel right here is just absolutely cooked. And the reason for that is because the first owner of this truck, the guy that bought this truck original from the showroom floor, for some reason, you know, got a fully loaded LBZ Duramax, but then proceeded to put a steering wheel cover on for its entire life. So it had a leather steering wheel that if you just take care of them, they just never rip or tear or any of that. The steering wheels in these trucks are absolutely insane. But the guy put a steering wheel cover on it, and they have those little grooves in the middle that like grip the steering wheel to the steering wheel cover to the steering wheel. And it just absolutely roached my steering wheel. So we needed a new one for a long time. Since we got the truck, obviously nothing's changed. So instead of trying to take care of this one, which is just not worth it, maybe somebody else has one that's in worse condition, they want this one, they can have it. But also look at our buttons here. They're just super worn down, and I'm a man of perfection personally, so it's gonna be super nice to have this steering wheel that is just absolutely immaculate in here. No scuffs on any of the buttons, almost no scuffs on the leather on the steering wheel part, and then we have one little tiny scuff here on the wood grain, but that ain't nothing to really worry about. So this thing is just going to look the tits. It is so nice. So happy to be putting this in. And not only that, if you guys ever wanted to do this yourself, I'm going to show you guys how to do it. It's super easy. But first things first, obviously we're going to come over here and open up our hood, because you're taking your battery terminals off. We are not going to be doing this with the battery terminals connected because we're messing with an airbag. And if you guys have never done steering wheels, I've done steering wheels on my cars in the past, and the first thing you know is to take those damn battery terminals off, because you do not want this airbag exploding in your face. Not only is it going to ruin stuff, it is also insanely dangerous, so don't be doing that. 8mm is going to take those off. And now that we have both of those terminals off, only the positive ones, negative ones don't really matter. Just double check, make sure the truck has no power, put the key in ignition, stuff like that. So we have verified no power, and now there's these two spots right here, and then on the other side of the airbag, where you were just going to take something like this and literally just push it in there. You're going to feel a little push tab. You're going to push it in. Now that this piece is popped out a little, just go to the other side, and now our airbag is out. And now what we're going to be looking at is a whole bunch of plugs, which is nothing really. Airbag just comes out like that. I'm going to be reusing my airbag because it says GMC and it's not a Chevy one, but we're going to put this thing faced up over there so that if it does explode for some weird reason, it's not going to be damaging a whole bunch of stuff. This thing right here, with the red wires, you're just going to push in and turn left or counterclockwise. And just like I was saying, that thing comes out right here. That's our clock spring power. And then if you guys have the buttons, you're gonna have this clip here, which is literally just a latch there, and you pull it out like a normal clip. Very easy to do. So nothing to it really. And now we're on to the part where we're just gonna go get, I believe it's a 16mm nut, and just crack this thing loose. Ended up being a 19mm, not a 16, but it should come loose no problem. I didn't really have any struggle with it at all. And then if you guys haven't done steering wheels before, obviously we leave the nut on there just in case this thing doesn't want to come off. So we're going to start yanking on this thing. Hopefully it doesn't come off too hard. But these steering wheels have been on there for 20 something years, so you got to kind of expect it. Well, there we go. Well, at least we know that thing was not coming off. Holy moly, that thing was ridiculous. There we go. Old wheel is off. That one is way lighter than the wood one. Holy moly. But now what we can look at here is the fact that these GMT 800s have an alignment shaft here. So you don't have to worry about where the splines line up, because they're always going to be the same. Just looking at the fact that there is a slot here, and then in the steering wheel there is also a slot in there, which I'll show you guys once the airbag is off. But long story short, they just go on absolutely seamlessly. There's no potential for you to be messing that up. And just like that, look at that. So our alignment shaft lined up perfectly. All you have to do is put the wheel on, just slightly turn it left and right, obviously with a knowledgeable guess, and it'll just slip right in. No issues there. And now we are just putting our nut back in place, and everything is just plug and play from there. Super easy thing to do. And I can already tell this thing looks absolutely insane, and it feels even better. I love this wood grain up here. It just feels absolutely insane. A lot of people won't like it, but a lot of people will. It's kind of a preference type of deal. So I'm gonna put this thing back together. We're literally just torquing down this nut, plugging our airbag in, and plugging our steering wheel controls in. And then as for this thing right here, which is our clock spring, you just put it in like so, and then push down and twist clockwise, so the opposite of how you take it out, obviously. And then once you know it's in right, it's in there good, and it doesn't come out. Very simple. So now our clock spring is installed, and we just gotta plug everything back together, and this thing should be absolutely insane. And just like that, our wood grain steering wheel is completely installed with our GMC airbag here. So now what we're gonna do is plug everything back in under the hood, so our battery cables, and then we're going to test our buttons that have no wearing, by the way. Super nice. So glad that that is like that. This was a absolute find on Marketplace. Always check Marketplace. It is an addiction, I know, but then you get things like this, you just find it locally and you go get it. This was like an hour away for me, but still doesn't really matter. We were heading over there for a Christmas party anyways, so it just worked out perfectly. And then as long as the buttons work, we are absolutely good to go. All right off the rip, we got our CTS3 powered up as soon as we got our terminals in. Yep. So power back to the truck. Now we're just going to test the head unit. Turn that down. And look at that. Volume is working. Let's see. Fuel. Yep. All right. So we are good to go. And now we just have the coolest steering wheel probably ever on one of these stock. Obviously, there is some companies out there that make super sick steering wheels for these things that just bolt right up, which is super cool. Maybe we'll get one of those one day, but for now we got the Escalade interior started on this thing. I think we're gonna go either, if we can find Remington parts, we're also gonna put Remington interior in here, but for now we have the Escalade steering wheel, and then we can get Escalade bezels or Remington bezels, whatever we can get our hands on. The Remington stuff is super rare, but that's besides the point. We can get Escalade stuff rather easily. We have some door cards lined up just in case I want to go do that, so that'll be super sick. So we're finally touching the interior on the LBZ Duramax, which is super nice, and this thing just looks absolutely insane. Like, look at this thing, guys. It is just, it could, oh man. A lot of people don't like wood, which is not out of the ordinary. Some people are just not into it, but I like having things that not everybody has. And in the Silverado, the only one that came with a wood steering wheel was the Remington edition. Regardless, it's a swap, and not a lot of people have it, which is sick. You know, you go to shows and you see things like this, and any GMT 800 enthusiast is going to see it, and they're going to appreciate it nonetheless, whether they like wood grain or not. So we're just in that boat. Me personally, massive GMT 800 enthusiast. These are my favorite trucks ever to exist. I wouldn't trade this truck for anything. Even an L5P Duramax is debatable. It would have to be so insane and so dumb for me not to take the trade for me to even do something like that. Say I did buy an L5P Duramax, we're gonna still have our GMT 800. There's no way I'm getting rid of this thing. I absolutely love it. Plus it's the old-timey look, and plus you can't buy them anymore. They're just, this is what they are. And I also have the Unicorn Duramax, LBZ loaded with a sunroof, with leather, everything else. Obviously if you have a sunroof, you're gonna have everything else, but regardless, Unicorn Duramax here. I couldn't see myself getting rid of this thing. We're just gonna keep repairing it, like stuff like this, till the end of time, hopefully. So super stoked about this steering wheel. It just not only are you touching your steering wheel 24/7 while you're driving, but you're also looking at it 24/7 while you're driving. So it's aesthetically pleasing and it feels nice while you're driving. So doing a steering wheel to your truck is probably one of the most important things you could possibly do in terms of how often do you see that and how often are you touching it. So that's going to be 24/7 every time you're in the truck, all the time. It's just seats, center console stuff, radio, and your steering wheel, and we have all of that touched on this thing. So it has come together so well. So at some point we're going to be putting the chrome Denali badge on here to match the mirrors and the forces and the grill. Not sure when, but we do have to do that. It is in our list. We have the parts for it. Thankful to the girl. For Christmas, the girlfriend went out and got me the chrome badges, which I've been needing for a while, because if you guys don't know, we had a black wheel set up on this truck before and we were doing black and white, and we quickly changed from that, and now we are big chrome man with polished wheels, chrome grill, and now we just need the polished, or not polished, but chrome Denali badge. I was also looking at those engraved emblems up front. People on Etsy and stuff like that make custom emblems for these trucks, and plus mine is absolutely roached right now because we had to work on my truck at some point. So pretty much, long story short, I will be doing a lot more to this truck, and if you guys want to follow that, you can follow me on every social media, including YouTube, the Don.87 on literally everything, TikTok, Instagram, whatever you could imagine, Don Eldridge on Snapchat. That's for the daily stuff. If you guys want to see everyday updates on this Duramax here, it's going to be Don Eldridge. It's just spelt exactly how my YouTube is. Also, I believe I have the link down in the description for it. So with that being said, I'm going to end it out here. Drop a like, a comment on anything you guys could imagine doing to this truck. If you guys want to support the channel, just drop subscribe, and then check out me completely building this truck, because from day one, this truck has been getting built on this YouTube channel, and it is so sick. If you guys like cat eyes, I also had a cat eye 1500 that is on the channel, and that was my more popular videos, unfortunately. You wouldn't think that a 5.3 would get more love on YouTube than a LBZ Duramax with a sunroof, but you know what? It has. This thing is not even close to the amount of views that cat eye got. So long story short, follow the channel if you guys want. Obviously, nobody's forcing you to do so, but there will be so much more content in the future on this thing. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.